Hello everyone. Today we're going to continue reading our text, A Wave of Love. Our objectives for this part of the lesson are to identify the function of the conclusion and to justify the interest of specific types of audience in reading the text. Since one of our objectives is to identify the function of the conclusion, let's take a look together what is the conclusion and what is the purpose behind writers writing a conclusion. So the concluding paragraph often summarizes the ideas in the essay. The writer may choose more than one way to bring his essay to a close. So writers end their essays in different ways. He may state the idea expressed in the introduction for reinforcement. So sometimes the writer can restate the idea mentioned in the introduction. He may give his opinion. Sometimes authors express their opinions in the conclusion, or come out with a moral that concludes the ideas. Sometimes in the conclusion we see a specific moral lesson. He may give a final example, suggest a solution to a problem, or simply leave the reader with a question that needs further investigation with future expectations. So, the conclusion is basically like a summary. In the end of our essay, it summarizes the ideas. Sometimes the author may express the same idea mentioned in the introduction. Sometimes he may give his opinion, or maybe a moral lesson, or maybe give a final example, suggest a solution if he's talking about a certain problem. And sometimes they may just leave the reader hanging with a question in mind with future expectations. Our second objective, which is related to the audience. What do we mean by audience? Audience is the intended group of readers that a text is addressing. They're the group of readers that the author wants or expects them to read the text. So you might tell me that we are the audience because we are reading the text. Yes, however, writers have specific groups of people in mind. So basically, what they write is intended to reach a specific group of readers. When a writer writes a piece of writing, he or she does so with a specific type of audience or reader in mind. When the writer knows who the audience is, he or she can use specific language, details, and examples to speak directly to that audience. So, the audience is basically the group of readers that the text is addressing. So, as we said, writers have a specific group of readers in mind that they want to reach. So, this is the audience. How do I identify my audience in a specific text? Well, I need to take a look at the language that the author has used. I need to take a look at the details. I need to take a look at the examples, etc. So let's continue reading our lesson, A Wave of Love. Let's continue reading paragraph 8. I also realized that all the money and power in the world would not have saved me from the water. That night, I decided that I couldn't wait until I was retired. I had to do something right away. A few days later, I announced my plans to start the One Foundation. Still, I didn't quite know where to begin. I wanted to do something in China first, because that's my home country, but I also had to do it right. So it took me a couple of years to do some research and talk to people to understand what could be done there. So, as we said before, Jet Li changed after the earthquake. We said that he was an extremely individualistic, self-centered person. He only cared about money, about fame, and his personal interests. After the Maldives earthquake, which was a turning point in his life, he discovered that money and fame are meaningless. So he learned that human love and help make a big difference in life. That's why he thought of starting the One Foundation. And he wanted to start in China because that's his home country. So it took him a couple of years to do some research, to talk to people, to know where to start from, and to do this the right way. I finally set up the One Foundation in 2007. My formula is very simple. One person plus 1 yuan per month equals one big family. That is, if everyone contributes a little, it will unite us. Sure, governments and companies have responsibilities for ordinary people, but I want to spread the belief that every human being has a responsibility too. It's not just when you've made your millions, when you're a captain of industry or a star. It starts with everybody, with just a little help. So, Jet Li finally established the One Foundation in order to help people. So his idea was that if one person donates 1 yuan per month, that would make one big family. That would actually unite everyone. He believed that everybody has a responsibility to help others. The One Foundation at this stage is primarily about helping with disaster relief. Since we started, we've already been involved with 7 disasters, including the Sichuan earthquake. I chose disaster relief because of what happened to me in the Maldives. Usually, when a disaster strikes, you hear about it, you see the pictures, and then you donate. This means it can take days or weeks before help reaches those who need it desperately. I want to be prepared. I want to have some money already set aside to buy food and water so we can act immediately. So, Jet Li established the One Foundation, which focuses mainly on natural disasters. So he wants to help people who actually go through specific natural disasters. And the reason behind that is because of what happened to him in the Maldives. So the incident which made him establish the One Foundation, he decided that he wants to work on disaster relief. And his idea is that he wants to have some money set aside to buy food and water and act on the spot. He wants to act right away. He doesn't want to waste time because it can take days or weeks before help reaches those who need it the most. Let's now read our final paragraph. And it's not only about material things. People need to know that someone will come and help them. I know this from first-hand experience. You need to hang on and hope you're going to be rescued. We want to show people that help is on the way. So, since Jet Li actually survived an earthquake, he knows from his own experience that people, when they actually survive or live such experiences, they need to know that others are thinking of them, that others are actually sending them help, that others are trying their best to rescue them. So he wants to show these people that help is on the way. So it's not only about the material things. I've taken a year off from filmmaking to dedicate all my time to the foundation. But I plan to go back to work next year, since being an international actor is a good platform for promoting the foundation. So, Jet Li dedicates all his time to the foundation. So he considers the foundation as a very important part in his life. And he still wants to go back to being an actor because he wants to use that to promote the foundation. For me, it's not just about raising money, but also about changing people's beliefs, spreading a love virus. I want to use my name to do good, to give back to the world. Nothing is more important than this now. So we can see in the end how Jet Li completely changes from a very self-centered person who just cares about his personal interest to a very caring and loving individual who actually wants to help others, and he wants to spread a love virus. So he wants to spread love as if it were a virus. So this is a metaphor. He's comparing love to a virus. So he wants love to be spread among people like a virus does. Homework. Answer the following questions in your own words. Use complete sentences. What is the function of the concluding paragraph in the text? Justify. State why the following readers might be interested in reading the text. Rich people and members of NGOs. So, in the first question, I want you to tell me what is the purpose behind the concluding paragraph, which is the last paragraph in the text, and explain. In the second question, I want you to tell me why would these types of audience or readers, why would they be interested in reading the text? So rich people, why do you think rich people would be interested in reading this text? And members of NGOs, so members of non-governmental organizations.